chocolate is a confection. It's candy. Chocolate is actually made with cacao. Cacao is a plant-based food which contains polyphenols. The more cacao you have in the chocolate, the darker the chocolate, right? It's 70% cacao, 80% cacao, even 100% cacao. That's when you actually have a lot of the polyphenols from the cacao plant-based. One of the things that we look for is for healthy chocolate is the percent higher levels of cacao. The more, the better. I always say 80% or higher is exactly what you want.
Meet Dr. William Li, a world-renowned Harvard-trained medical doctor, researcher and president and founder of the Angiogenesis Foundation. His work has led to more than 40 FDA-approved therapeutics and devices for cancer, cardiovascular disease, wound healing, and vision loss. He is also a New York Times best-selling author of Eat to Beat Disease, The New Science of How Your Body Can Heal Itself, and Eat to Beat Diet, Burn Fat, Heal Your Metabolism, and Live Longer. Disclaimer: the information provided in this video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Do not disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have read or seen in this video.
Eating the blueberry eaters also had less visceral fat. That's the kind of harmful inflammatory fat that you want to get rid of within the tube of your body. The blueberry eaters also had better insulin sensitivity, meaning that they had better overall metabolism as well.
Cancer is one of the most feared diseases in the world, but according to Dr. Li, certain foods can play a vital role in fighting it. His research has revealed that the right kinds of snacks can help starve cancer cells by cutting off their blood supply, a process called anti-angiogenesis. By choosing nutrient-packed snacks, we can not only boost our overall health, but also support the body's natural defenses against cancer, and at the same time burn fat. Let's dive into the 4 snacks Dr. Li recommends consuming to fight disease and burn fat. Dark chocolate.
What does dark chocolate do for you? It does a lot of things. One of the most important things the polyphenols do is it recruits your stem cells. All right, that's right. We all have stem cells in our body. They were left over when we were growing in our mom's belly in the womb, and they formed our organs. All right. So when we were actually born, there were extra stem cells left over, about 70 million. All right. And they all got packed away, stored away in our bone marrow. So our bone marrow is the little the spongy stuff in the middle of our bone. If you ever took a chicken bone and broke it in half, you would actually see that brown stuff in the middle. That's bone marrow. That's packed with stem cells. So eating chocolate, the chocolate bioactives called proanthocyanidins actually calls out those stem cells into our bloodstream. It signals to them so they come flying out of our bone marrow like bees coming out of a hive, and they circulate around in our blood. And you know what they do? They look for areas that need to be fixed, like potholes in the road. They're looking for where they need to patch.
Dr. Li recommends dark chocolate because it contains high levels of cacao, which delivers a range of health benefits despite chocolate's reputation as a sweet treat. While typical chocolate is often loaded with unhealthy fats, sugars, and artificial ingredients, dark chocolate, particularly with 80% cacao or higher, is rich in beneficial compounds like proanthocyanidins, theobromine, and lycopene. These compounds are powerful antioxidants that protect the body from damage, reduce inflammation, and promote heart health.
People who have had dark chocolate, actually cacao beverage, and they found that having the cacao beverage actually helps the blood vessels become more resilient because the stem cells have actually come out and fixed and repaired and regenerated the areas of the blood vessels in order to keep them as healthy and as resilient as possible. All right, so this is basically taking about 2 cups of hot cocoa, dark chocolate, for a month, 30 days. And some people were able to double the number of stem cells that come out of their blood vessels.
Dark chocolate has been shown to lower the risk of heart disease and diabetes, protect DNA, and improve gut health. Studies have found that consuming dark chocolate can increase stem cells and improve blood flow by promoting the production of nitric oxide, which helps relax and repair stiffened blood vessels. This makes dark chocolate particularly beneficial for cardiovascular health.
The masked organic dark chocolate, 80% coca. Teza organic dark chocolate, 70% cacao. Ghirardelli intense dark chocolate, 86% cacao. And Ghirardelli intense dark, 72% cacao. These are the ones that were considered the safest. All right. They have the lowest levels of both lead and cadmium. In any event, you shouldn't be eating too much dark chocolate anyway. It's a candy, like I'm telling you. And but these are the ones that you would actually choose. Now, if you had to try to figure out how to even get even less, go for slightly lower levels of cacao. All right. So if you wind up getting 80% cacao, which is what I generally recommend, that's actually a good level. You're going to get lots of polyphenols. But if you get 70%, you're going to get a little bit less of the bioactive, but you also get less of the lead and cadmium as well.
Research also shows dark chocolate can aid in weight management. In a study involving 1,458 teenagers across 9 European countries, those who consumed about 42.6 grams of chocolate per day, roughly 1 standard bar, had lower body fat, smaller waistlines, and less abdominal fat compared to their peers. Similarly, a study of 13,626 adults in the US revealed that people who ate any amount of chocolate had smaller waist circumferences, indicating less harmful visceral fat, regardless of their total calorie intake. Dark chocolate also has anti-cancer benefits. A review in the journal Diseases discusses various studies that have looked at how the natural compounds found in cocoa, especially flavonols, might help protect against cancer. One notable study involved mice that are genetically predisposed to develop multiple intestinal tumors. In this study, researchers added a compound called catechin, which is found in cocoa, to the mice's diet. They discovered that when the mice consumed diets containing small amounts of catechin, the number of tumors formed was significantly reduced, by 75% and 71% depending on the amount of catechin used. The researchers found that catechin seemed to help the cells in the intestines survive better and prevent them from turning cancerous. This suggests that catechin could play a role in stopping the early stages of cancer development. Another study focused on male rats that were fed a diet rich in cocoa for several weeks before being exposed to a chemical known to cause cancer. The results showed that while all the rats developed early signs of cancer, the ones that ate the cocoa-rich diet had fewer of these early signs, particularly the more serious types that are likely to progress to full-blown cancer. This indicates that cocoa may help protect against the initial stages of colon cancer.
In plants growing around volcanic areas, you actually tend to have the roots take it up, and you wind up actually having more in the environment. And so cacao beans, pods tend to pick up more heavy metals. That's one of the reasons, by the way, that dark chocolate has these heavy metals. All right. Another reason that heavy metals can actually accumulate is, unfortunately, many of these cacao plantations are in industrialized developing countries where they're not taking care of the environment. So some of the cacao trees are near toxic dumps. Now you've got dust flying everywhere. That's not healthy for you. These toxic metals, lead and cadmium, and so on and so forth. And a lot of times these cacao pods are opened up, and the seeds are dried right out in the open, right? Bright, sunny, tropical environment, drying the seeds. Well, guess what? If there's lead or cadmium, heavy metals in the air, in the dust, they might fall down onto those seeds. They're going to get crushed. So those are two explanations for how cacao even gets any heavy metal. And although we haven't really checked yet, I bet if you checked many plant-based foods that grow in those areas, you'll also see heavy metals present.
However, Dr. Lee cautions that not all chocolate provides these benefits. Many commercially available chocolates are loaded with added sugar, preservatives, and fillers that negate the positive effects of cacao. For optimal health benefits, it's important to choose dark chocolate with the highest cacao percentage and no refined sugars. Eating it slowly and savoring the aroma can even help with portion control, as the smell of chocolate has been shown to activate parts of the brain that promote feelings of fullness. Blueberries.
Eating blueberries can improve your metabolism. How do they do this? Blueberries contain bioactives. One of them is called anthocyanin. The other one's called proanthocyanin. The other one's called quercetin. And these actually improve your metabolism. So, studies in Turkey have actually enrolled adults who were overweight and gave them blueberries to eat. And what do you think they found? Well, first of all, these adults were put on a reduced calorie diet and a little bit of exercise just so they weren't couch potatoes and they were moving and not eating too much. And then after 6 weeks, they gave them blueberries to eat. How much? Really just a quarter cup of frozen blueberries every day for another 6 weeks. But they gave one group of blueberries, one group to placebo. So you know what they found? They found the blueberry eaters lost 8 pounds or 21% more than the group that was eating the placebos. Meaning that if you were having a healthy lifestyle with exercise, reducing your calories, adding blueberries, even frozen blueberries, would actually help you lose more weight.
Dr. Lee recommends blueberries for their potent health benefits, particularly due to their high concentration of antioxidants, including anthocyanins, which give them their deep blue color. These antioxidants play a crucial role in neutralizing harmful free radicals that can damage cells and contribute to the development of cancer. Blueberries are known to help protect DNA, reduce inflammation, and enhance the body's natural defense mechanisms, making them a powerful tool in cancer prevention.
Eating blueberries reduces inflammation. And the reason is that these bioactives, the anthocyanin, proanthocyanin, and quercetin, are powerful reducers of whole body inflammation. And we know that inflammation is responsible as a root cause of many chronic diseases. So it doesn't matter what you got. If you actually eat blueberries and reduce inflammation, that's actually going to be beneficial to your health and help you heal faster.
According to the American Institute for Cancer Research, foods rich in dietary fiber, like blueberries, can reduce the risk of colorectal cancer and help manage body weight, which is important as excess body fat increases the risk of many cancers. While more research is needed, blueberries show potential in reducing the risk of several cancers, including those in the digestive and respiratory systems. According to a review in the Anti-Cancer Agents in Medicinal Chemistry, blueberries contain natural substances that help reduce inflammation and oxidative stress in the body, both of which are linked to cancer development. One important study mentioned in the review involved researchers who fed mice diets containing either 5% or 10% whole blueberry powder. The results revealed that the mice eating the 5% blueberry powder had a 75% smaller tumor size, while those consuming the 10% blueberry powder had a 60% smaller tumor size compared to mice that did not receive blueberries. This significant reduction in tumor size suggests that blueberries could play an important role in stopping the growth of tumors.
Why do we want good immune defenses? Well, protects us from infection from the outside world, for example. But a really good immunity also protects us from cancer because our immune system conducts surveillance throughout our body and looks for abnormal cells like cancer cells and wipes them right out. So there was a clinical study that was actually done at Louisiana State University where they actually studied blueberries in the form of a smoothie versus a placebo, of course. That's how a good clinical study is done. And what they did is they enrolled people who had metabolic syndrome. Now, you may or may not have metabolic syndrome, but a lot of people have metabolic syndrome. What is that? Well, that's a combination of high blood pressure, high blood lipids, like your cholesterol, triglycerides, high LDL, bad cholesterol, high blood sugars, all right? You know, we talk about glucose spikes, but actually what it is that higher levels generally of your blood sugar and a big waistline, because when your waistline is bigger, it means that you're more stuffed with visceral inflammatory fat. Okay, so this one study enrolled people with metabolic syndrome and they gave them blueberries in the form of a smoothie. How much they give? Just 1.5 cups of blueberry powder in this case. They put them in yogurt with a little bit of milk. So what they did is they actually measured in the blood immune cells before and after having the blueberry smoothies. And guess what they found? They found drinking the blueberry smoothie led to an 88% increase in special immune cells called myeloid dendritic cells.
Blueberries are also beneficial for cardiovascular health. Studies have shown that consuming blueberries can help lower blood pressure, improve circulation, and reduce the risk of heart disease by enhancing the function of blood vessels. Additionally, blueberries are low in calories but high in fiber, which helps support healthy digestion and can aid in weight management by promoting a feeling of fullness.
Here's a little tip of what you actually want to be able to avoid. Don't go for any of the berries that are green. Avoid those. They're not ripe. And don't go for any ones that are really, really softened up. Those sort of on their way to rotting. So just avoid those. And if you can't get summer blueberries, that's okay. Frozen blueberries, just like that research study showed, are actually just fine. Here's something else you might not know about blueberries. They have other names. So, for example, they've been called wild huckleberry or even whortleberries. And in Europe, they're known as bilberries.
Dr. Lee also points out that blueberries have a positive impact on brain health. Regular consumption has been associated with improved memory and cognitive function, which is particularly important for aging populations. The combination of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties makes blueberries an ideal food for protecting both the body and brain from age-related decline and disease. If you found value in this video so far and appreciate the many hours of effort that went into creating it, please consider liking the video and leaving a comment to support the channel. And if you're interested in purchasing an anti-inflammatory meal plan that includes 30 healthy recipes, make sure to click the link in the description. Mushrooms.
Mother Nature's like umami bomb. They taste great. They're easy to cook. And, from a medical food as medicine perspective, I can tell you they contain a bioactive called beta-D-glucan. Happens to be a soluble fiber. So this beta-D-glucan is not only a bioactive that activates your health defenses and activates your metabolism, it's a dietary fiber that feeds our gut microbiome. So mushrooms are good for gut health and overall health and our metabolism at the same time.
Dr. Lee recommends mushrooms because they offer a range of health benefits, especially when it comes to boosting the immune system and fighting cancer. Mushrooms contain special compounds called beta-glucans, which help activate the immune system to fight off harmful cells, including cancer cells. These compounds also stop the growth of blood vessels that feed cancer, preventing tumors from getting bigger. According to a review published in the European Journal of Cancer Prevention, a detailed study was conducted to explore the connection between eating mushrooms and the risk of developing stomach cancer. The main goal of the study was to find out if eating more mushrooms could lower the risk of stomach cancer. The researchers looked at various factors, including where the studies were conducted, the income levels of the populations involved, and the types of study designs used. They analyzed data from nearly 3,900 people with stomach cancer and about 7,800 people without the disease, which provided a strong basis for their conclusions. The findings showed that people who consumed higher amounts of mushrooms had a significantly lower risk of developing stomach cancer, especially in Asian populations. The results were particularly striking in countries like Korea, China, and Japan, where mushroom consumption is more common. The researchers discussed several reasons why mushrooms might help protect against stomach cancer. One possibility is that people in Asia tend to eat specific types of mushrooms, such as shiitake, oyster, and maitake, which are packed with beneficial nutrients and compounds. These mushrooms contain substances known as polysaccharides, which have been shown to have anti-cancer properties, as well as high levels of ergothioneine, an amino acid that acts as a powerful antioxidant. The review emphasized that the overall eating habits in Asia, which often include a variety of mushrooms as part of a plant-based diet, may play a role in reducing cancer risk.
What's really interesting about beta-D-glucan is where is it found in the mushroom. Most people who buy mushrooms and cook with mushrooms get the cap. They cut off the stem, throw away the stem. And the cap does have beta-D-glucan, but the stem of the mushroom has twice as much beta-D-glucan. So if you're cutting mushrooms up, cook with the stem or do something else with the stem. You could put it into a smoothie. You could actually make a soup out of it, make a stew out of it, saute it. Whatever you're going to do, don't throw them away because they actually have a lot of this great natural resource that's good for your health and good for your metabolism.
Mushrooms are also a great source of fiber, which acts as a prebiotic, meaning it helps feed the good bacteria in your gut. A healthy gut is important because it strengthens the immune system. Research from Penn State University showed that feeding mice even a tiny amount of white button mushrooms significantly increased their gut bacteria diversity, which is a sign of a strong microbiome. The study found that mice who ate mushrooms had less gut inflammation when exposed to harmful bacteria compared to those who didn't, showing how mushrooms help protect the gut.
Shiitake mushrooms. Now, we normally think about shiitake mushrooms as kind of small things you find in the grocery store, but check these out. These are Asian shiitake mushrooms. Look at the pattern on the tops of them. That actually signifies a quality, and you can actually have these dried as well. I'm going to actually show you some dried ones in a little bit. But shiitake mushrooms actually have beta-D-glucan, which is a soluble fiber, good for the microbiome, and eating these types of mushrooms actually can help you regenerate because beta-D-glucan actually stimulates regeneration.
Other studies have shown that mushrooms, like shiitake, can improve the microbiome in aging mice, helping restore good bacteria that tend to decrease with age. For example, a study from the South China Institute of Technology found that shiitake mushrooms improved the gut health of older mice by increasing the amount of beneficial bacteria by 115%. Mushrooms can also help with weight management. A study from Johns Hopkins University found that when participants replaced red meat with white button mushrooms in their meals, they lost more weight and reduced their waist size compared to those who continued eating red meat. This is because mushrooms contain beta-D-glucan, a type of fiber that makes you feel fuller for longer. In a separate study, participants who ate a meal with mushrooms felt less hungry for 90 minutes afterward because of the increase in the hormone GLP-1, which helps control appetite. In addition to these benefits, mushrooms can help reduce inflammation in the body and support fat burning by activating brown fat tissue, which burns energy. With these benefits, Dr. Lee suggests adding mushrooms like white button, shiitake, and lion's mane to your diet to improve your immune system, gut health, and even help with weight loss. Walnuts.
Tree nuts. Now, in a past video, we talked about the evidence that tree nuts actually can be good for, in a study looking at stage 3 colon cancer, which was published in the Journal of Clinical Oncology. But I can tell you that other studies have similarly found that tree nuts can have tremendous benefits for the gut microbiome, which then helps your immune system fight cancer. Nuts are, what I love about nuts is that there's a whole bunch of different kinds of nuts, right? Yep. You might like Brazil nuts or pecans or almonds or cashews or macadamias or walnuts. You can switch it out. You're all getting the same thing. Good, healthy, natural plant-based forms of omega-3s and a ton of dietary fibers. These activate your body's health defense systems in favor. And nuts are different than kind of like, I eat a piece of salmon, for dinner. You can snack on a nut. And my only strong suggestion and kind of warning is do not snack on nuts that have been deep fried or have chemical flavorings put on them. Always look at how it's been processed and how it's actually been seasoned and what's in the seasoning. Better yet, go to the bulk section of the grocery store where you can buy it cheaply anyway. Yeah. Get a bunch of different kinds, the kind you like. Take a metal bowl and go to the spice cabinet, pick out, dried spices that you actually like.
Dr. Lee recommends walnuts because they are packed with nutrients that provide numerous health benefits, particularly in cancer prevention, heart health, and brain function. Walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, which helps reduce inflammation. Inflammation is a key contributor to the development of chronic diseases like cancer, and the anti-inflammatory properties of walnuts can help protect cells from damage and lower the risk of tumor growth. Walnuts also contain powerful antioxidants, such as polyphenols, which neutralize harmful free radicals and protect DNA from damage. This is crucial for cancer prevention, as DNA damage can lead to the formation of cancer cells. Dr. Lee highlights that consuming walnuts regularly has been associated with a reduced risk of cancers, such as breast and prostate cancer. According to a review in the Journal of Nutrition, walnuts may play a significant role in preventing and treating cancer, based on research conducted primarily in mouse models. One important study involved implanting human breast cancer cells into mice. After the tumors grew to a measurable size, half of the mice were switched to a diet that included the equivalent of about 56.6 grams of walnuts per day. The results showed that the diet with walnuts reduced the growth rate of the breast tumors by approximately 80%. Additionally, in another type of mouse model designed to study breast cancer, the walnut diet led to a reduction of about 60% in the number of tumors in the mammary glands. Interestingly, the reduction in tumors was greater when the mice consumed whole walnuts compared to a diet that only provided the same amount of omega-3 fatty acids, suggesting that the various components in walnuts work together to help fight cancer. The review also explains how walnuts may help prevent cancer through their rich content of beneficial compounds. Walnuts are packed with several important nutrients, including omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin E, plant sterols, and antioxidants. These compounds can protect cells from damage and reduce inflammation, both of which are linked to cancer development. Furthermore, walnut extracts have been shown to influence the behavior of cancer cells by affecting their growth and promoting a process called apoptosis, which is the natural death of unhealthy cells. One specific mechanism identified is the activation of a receptor in the body that can trigger the death of breast cancer cells. In addition to their cancer-fighting properties, walnuts are excellent for promoting heart health. The omega-3 fatty acids and polyphenols in walnuts help reduce cholesterol levels, improve the function of blood vessels, and lower the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Studies have demonstrated that individuals who consume walnuts regularly tend to have lower blood pressure and better artery function, reducing their overall risk of heart disease. Incorporating these nutrient-dense snacks into your diet can help support your body's natural defenses, promote fat loss, and reduce the risk of chronic diseases.